Hi, welcome back. Today I have a special for you. I'm actually making a stuffed salmon with a twist. It's going to be a jerked stuffed salmon. It's the perfect dish for a birthday, anniversary, or even just a date night. I'm going to show you how everything is done. This actually has been in the refrigerator for 3 hours. So I'm going to show you how I season the salmon, and you can let it marinate for anywhere from one hour to overnight, depending on how spicy you want your fish. I'm going to show you all the seasonings that I use to get the salmon to be jerked. Okay, so here I have some Atlantic fresh salmon. Now they've been cleaned. I prefer to have the skin on mine, but if you don't, you can also do the skinless one. So first we're gonna go in with our seasonings. I'm gonna explain to you all the different seasonings that I use. I have half of a lemon that I'm gonna squeeze on the fish. I have garlic powder. This is some wet jerk seasoning, smoked paprika, onion powder, some fish seasonings, and this is some dry jerk seasonings. I'm not going to use all these seasonings, but I'm going to repeat some of the seasonings on my shrimps that I'm going to put over the salmon as well. So first and foremost, we want to put a little bit of the wet jerk seasonings. You're going to rub some on the backside of the fish. And depending on how, spicy you like it is how much you're going to use. If you're not a person who like a lot of spice, then you won't use a whole lot of it. Also, we're going to turn it over, and then we're going to repeat the process on the front side of the fish. You can also wear gloves if you don't want to get your hands dirty to do this process. So, as again, I said, depending on how spicy you want it, you can also leave it in the fridge overnight. Some people leave it for a couple of days. The longer you leave it, the more spicy it's gonna get, and the more the flavors are gonna marinate. Then I'm gonna squeeze the lemon over the jerk on the fish on both sides. You can also, I'm going to put this fish in the oven, but you can also put it in the air fryer if you like. All right, next we're going to go in with onion powder. Again, you want to make sure that you sprinkle it evenly on all sides of the salmon. Salmon is actually one of my favorite meals to eat. I love it all different kind of ways. Besides jerk, I also like it teriyaki. What is your favorite way to do salmon? So when I come back, I'm going to show you how I make the crab meat stuffing that I'm going to stuff the salmon with. Okay, next we're gonna start with our stuffing, crab meat stuffing. I have some claw meat. You definitely can use lump crab if that's what you have on hand, but I have some claw meat. So in this, I'm gonna put a half of an onion, 2 celery stalks, 3 green onions, basically a half of a bell pepper, but I love using the yellow, orange, and red bell peppers because I love the colors. 6 cloves of garlic, and then this one is going to be the equivalent of a teaspoon of fresh dill. I love dill in my crab cakes or crab meat stuffing. This is the equivalent of a cup of crackers. I'm using club crackers, but you can use any type of crackers to put in it. Some people use breadcrumbs, but I find that using the crackers is more flavorful and you really don't taste that heavy breading in the crab meat, and that's what I love. And this is perfect because I'm gonna have more than enough stuffing left. And you can also make some crab cakes with this, and so this is a perfect meal. I'm also gonna put some Dijon mustard, which is a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. This is some Worcestershire sauce and the equivalent of a tablespoon of mayonnaise. And mayonnaise is gonna bring everything together. We also need 1 egg that's gonna be in the mixture, and then a half of a lemon that I'm gonna squeeze into the crab meat. Okay, so I chopped up all my veggies, and I had to get a bigger bowl to assemble the crab meat because clearly this is not gonna do. So we're gonna go in with the crab meat. Then I'm gonna squeeze the lemon in there. You know, I love crab cakes, period. Crab cakes is actually one of the most filling things that you can eat. And just the mere fact that you can put it in the salmon also, it's really, really great. I'm gonna take the veggies and then I'm gonna put it in all of this, all the seasonings into the crab meat because that's where all the flavor comes from. Again, I'm gonna use my hands to dig it out. Clearly, if you had a spoon, you can use that as well, but I don't mind getting my hands dirty. Then we're gonna add the crackers, or you can use breading if that's what you want to use. The Worcestershire sauce. I need to get a spoon because I'm gonna put the mayo in there. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we're gonna go in with our mayo and then our Dijon mustard as well. Wrong spoon, sorry. I have to get a smaller spoon. Give me 1 second. And that actually happens. Sometimes you underestimate the size of what you're using, but there we go. Our Dijon mustard is in. Then I'm gonna put my egg. You're gonna mix all your ingredients until they're all combined, and then we're gonna let it sit for about 30 minutes to make sure that everything is nice and combined. And when I come back, I'm gonna show you how I assemble the stuffing into the salmon before I bake it. Okay, so I'm gonna use the salmon that's been marinating for about 3 hours. First, I took a pan, put aluminum foil in it, and sprayed it with a little cooking spray. We're gonna put our salmon down. Then we're gonna cut it, slice right in the middle with enough of an opening that you want to put your mixture in. So you want to go deep enough, but you don't want to go completely all the way through. So that's what we, cut it nice. Then we're going to take a spoon. You can use your hands for this. You want to form a nice ball almost to fit right in the middle of the salmon. And that's actually enough. Again, as I told you, you're going to have a lot of stuffing left, but it makes a really nice crab cake. So you can just pan fry it and you have a great crab cake. So we're going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes. And when I come back, I'm going to show you how I make the garlic shrimps that's going to go on top of this. Okay, so welcome back. Now we are gonna make the shrimps that's gonna go on top of the salmon. First, we're gonna put, a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Then we're gonna use half of a stick of butter because it's gonna be butter garlic shrimps. And what's not better than butter and butter garlic shrimps? So as that's melting, we're gonna add our shrimps, and then we're gonna repeat the same seasonings that we had put on our salmon earlier. Again, you don't want to overcrowd the pan too much with the shrimps. And shrimps cook very fast, so these shrimps are gonna be cooked in no time at all. Next, we're gonna go in with our garlic. This is actually 6 cloves of garlic that I've crushed. So we're gonna go in with those. Then I'm gonna add the rest of my seasonings that I put on my salmon earlier, which is the fish seasonings, a little bit of the jerk, some garlic and onion powder and paprika. Gonna make sure they're nicely covered, and like I said, it's gonna take the shrimps and they're gonna be cooked in no time. As soon as they turn pink, we're gonna turn them off. I'll be back as soon as they're done. Okay, so welcome back. Now I'm going to make the sauce, or the Alfredo sauce, that I'm using for my spinach garlic pasta. First, we're gonna start with a little bit of olive oil. Then I'm gonna add my garlic, and then we're gonna add our heavy whipping cream. Okay, now this pasta, you can use any pasta that you like to put into this to make the spinach garlic pasta. Okay, I'm adding half of a stick of unsalted butter. You want to make sure that the butter is unsalted because you're going to be using Parmesan cheese, and Parmesan cheese has a lot of salt. So you want to definitely make sure you're using unsalted butter. So we're gonna make sure that this butter and cream and everything is nice and melted. Then we're gonna add a half a stick of cream cheese. Now you may say cream cheese, yes, cream cheese. I'm putting cream cheese in this pasta. You'll be amazed at the flavor that it gives. So half of a stick of cream cheese. And then we're gonna mix it and make sure that all of this is nice and blended. You wanna make sure that this cream cheese breaks down into this heavy cream. Another ingredient that a lot of people may not seem to think that we use is nutmeg. Nutmeg, it gives it an amazing flavor, but it's not, you don't taste the nutmeg. It just counteracts with all the different ingredients that we put into the Alfredo sauce. So as we continue to mix, make sure that cream cheese and garlic, butter is nice and melted. We're gonna go in with a little bit of seasonings. Again, you don't want to over season anything because the Parmesan the Parmesan cheese has a lot of salt. So I'm gonna put in, which is gonna be the equivalent of about a teaspoon of adobo. Gonna sprinkle that in there. And we're gonna continue whisking and making sure that this sauce gets nice and thick before we add our Parmesan cheese. So we're gonna add, which is a cup of frozen spinach that I defrosted, and make sure that I squeezed all the excess water out of. This is where the spinach comes into your garlic pasta, spinach garlic pasta. I'm gonna stir that around and make sure that it's nice and incorporated in the sauce. And then we're gonna add our Parmesan cheese, which again, this is a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. We're gonna add to it. And right now we're just making sure that our sauce is nice and thick. I have my pasta boiling, and when we come back, I'm gonna show you how we put this pasta together. Here we go. This is our completed product, perfect for a date night, anniversary, or just because meal. We're gonna go in with a taste test. First, I'm gonna try the garlic pasta, the spinach garlic pasta. The pasta is cooked just right, al dente. You don't want to overcook your pasta because it becomes too mushy. Also, I'm going to go in with a taste test on the salmon and piece of that shrimp. Absolutely delicious. You can taste the jerk, but it's not overpowering. I didn't want my jerk super spicy, so it's just perfect. You can also taste the lemons and all the seasonings. The crab meat is absolutely delicious. It's not over seasoned, and that's what we want. Please remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and please share with your friends. Thanks again for watching.